I just saw the brand new Robert Eggers Nosferatu last night in theaters, and I have some things to clarify about it. Okay, at first when I saw the trailers come out, I was super excited to see it. I thought it looked amazing, super pumped. Well, it came out on Wednesday, Christmas. Obviously, I didn't go since I just went last night. So there was some talk, people were seeing it, they were posting videos on TikTok and Facebook, and they were like, oh my gosh, this movie is so scary. This is the scariest movie. You know, how they overhype it and always do it. Well, they were also saying that it was incredibly adult, with some adult scenes, which I don't like that stuff in horror movies. I just like being scared out of my mind. I like the monster jumping out at you. I like being freaked out. So I was really nervous then going into it, because I'm like, oh great, if this is just going to be a movie about some vampire dude seducing people, I don't think I want to see this. Well, the good news is, it wasn't like that at all. There was, no adult scenes whatsoever. I mean, there was, some nudity, but that's it. So if you're, scared to go to the movie or, not sure because of that reason, feel free to go because there's none of that stuff. The bummer thing, though, the movie was really bad. Now I'm gonna tell you why, so let's get started. Honestly, you can definitely tell it's a Robert Eggers film. I actually watched The Witch, and I was gonna post my Witch review before this one, but Nosferatu is trending like crazy, and people are lying about it, so I just gotta post it out there for y'all. Which, the movie The Witch, 2015 film, is also another Robert Eggers film. So that's why I kinda wanted to do it, but I just had to get this one done with. Now, you can definitely tell that this movie's a Robert Eggers movie, just because he kind of does this thing where, he doesn't really show the monsters a ton. They're very, long and they're kind of slow. They really build up around the whole mystery. Instead of just poof, showing what's going on right away. They really, make you feel intense and, make you feel oh gosh, what's going on? And it just has, an artsy kind of vibe to it. Honestly, this movie started out really good. I loved the first half of this movie because I was like, whoa, what's going on? This is awesome. But then by the second half, the pacing got so long. I kid you not, it felt like I was watching a 4-hour movie. This movie is 2 hours and 13 minutes or something, which I hate long movies, but I was still really excited for this because, come on, it's Nosferatu, an OP vampire. But not even Nosferatu was scary. I mean, this movie wasn't scary at all. I still would not bring any little kids to this movie at all. I'd say for age, I'd say mature 14 and 15. Because, I'm 15 and I can handle, some of that stuff, but honestly, this movie wasn't scary at all. It was pretty lame in that department. All they did that was, scary for 1 second was they do, cheap jump scares where, the music gets really loud and the camera, kind of slowly pans and then the monster's rah. Or he's, behind her or something. They just do those cheap jump scares. But out of this movie and the movie The Witch, I'd say The Witch is way more disturbing. Just because, the witch kind of does, her witchy rituals. Honestly, the whole movie was about the main character, Lily Rose, and she was, gets dreams of the vampire because she accidentally summoned him when she was a kid. Because she wanted comfort and love. So he finally came back to her, in her dream, and he found out that she was married, so he wasn't happy. So he basically just haunts her in her dreams for, the first half of the movie, which, okay, they had some mystery going on. I mean, I didn't mind at first. But honestly, that was, the whole movie. It was just the main girl, freaking out the whole time, going crazy, and, contorting her body at night when she slept. Nosferatu didn't really show up that much until the second half of the movie, which was super boring and long, and even then, he just wasn't in it. He wasn't with the main characters. You know how in horror movies, the monsters kind of go to them, and they're, at the end, they get in the same place as them, and they're, chasing them, and they're scaring them because they're all by each other. In this one, Nosferatu kind of stayed away. He was in the castle the first half of the movie. And then he went to, another castle in the second half of the movie. And, the random strangers in the theater, I could tell they were getting antsy, too, because, there was a lot of shifting, a lot of talking, a lot of, heavy sighs from everyone. I don't think a single person in the theater I went to enjoyed it. Actually was wow, this movie's amazing. I mean, I heard so many people say, this movie was awful. This movie was so long. Really, the only people who pretended to like it were the fake poser people on TikTok and Facebook. And even if you did like it, that's okay. But like, it was not the scariest movie ever created. It wasn't scary at all. They gave Nosferatu a mustache and a top hat, like he was about to pull out a rabbit and show me a magic trick. Like, there is nothing scary about a dude with a mustache. I mean, the character design for Nosferatu was awful. There was nothing scary about him, except for his, like, fangs, and, like, his body was, like, creepy, but his face just ruined it with the mustache. And he had, like, a fur hat, like he was Russian or something. I'm like, is this Nosferatu? I will give this movie credit for, like, the old style vibe, because this movie obviously takes place, like, way back in the day, like, 1700s maybe, I don't know. So they did do a good job with, like, how dumb the characters were for their time, you know, like, they just think that she's, like, has some weird sickness going on. So the doctors are just, like, knocking the main girl out because they don't know what else to do with her. They're like, And also, like, the landscaping was, like, 100% accurate. Like, the villages and homes were small. The characters wore, like, clothing that fitted their timeline. So they had the whole, like, back in the day feel and vibe going on. Just Nosferatu as a villain was a disappointment. I mean, if they would have knocked, like, an hour off of this movie and just made it, like, an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 30, this movie would have been very good. Because then they would have, like, been able to pace it out more and it just would have been, you know, cooler. But it still wouldn't have been great because the bad guy was such a disappointment. Like, I wanted to see him in there, like, really in the movie. He was just, like, a really lame bad guy. I mean, and his accent was awful. Like, dude was having asthma attacks every 5 seconds. He sounded like he was running a marathon the whole time. Talked really slow, and he had, like, like, he rolled his tongue, but, like, mid-sentence. So he'd say things like, I don't understand. Where it was, like, really slow, and he'd, like, do that tongue thingy. And then he'd breathe, like, super heavy afterwards. And then he'd, like, breathe, but then he'd do, like, the like, I don't even know how that dude could do that, like, the whole film. Like, that just made me lightheaded, even doing that for, like, 1 second. I mean, this dude didn't sound scary at all. I was just concerned for his well-being. I was like, this dude, is he okay? Like, I get it. Nosferatu's, like, 3,000 years old. It's just not enjoyable to watch someone look like they're on their deathbed the whole time. Like, all they had to do was push him down the stairs, and then he'd, like, I don't know, probably die. And as for the characters, they just weren't that great. I mean, the main dude, Timothy, he was, like, an NPC. He barely kind of talked. He was just kind of monotone. Very, like, I must go to the castle to get my promotion. Goodbye, dear. I love you and I miss you. Rides off into the sunset. I mean, he was just, like, very, Lily was fine. I mean, I wouldn't say, like, she was amazing compared to, like, Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch. She was okay. I mean, when she got possessed, she was really cool and awesome because her body was, like, doing that thing where, like, her back went up in the air, so she made kind of like a rainbow. Honestly, all the acting was just very, like, kind of lame. Everybody sounded bored. And I couldn't tell if they were trying to do that because it was, like, back in the day, so people just didn't have much, like, character and pizzazz to them. They weren't as spicy, but honestly, this movie was just really boring. Even in the first half, like, it takes forever for them to get to Nosferatu. Like, the first 5 minutes of the movie are good when they're, like, kind of doing the intro. But then after that, when the actual movie starts, it's like, 30 minutes went by and, like, we still haven't seen Nosferatu yet. So basically, I would not waste your time with this movie, or at least wait until it comes out on streaming, because if you go into theaters with this, you're gonna die. People are just so rude. I mean, we had to, like, literally yell at someone to get off their phone. I mean, we didn't yell at them, but, like, we respectfully went up to them. My dad did and was like, hey, sir, get off your phone. Because, come on, you're at a movie. Like, why are you on your phones? It's, like, a #1 rule. I mean, even the movie theater people tell you to get off your phones. But I mean, there's so much better movies out there than Nosferatu. Like, watch The Witch by Robert Eggers. Watch Sinister, Conjuring. I mean, there's way better movies than this one. So if you're gonna waste your time with anything, at least make it be an actually good movie. And also, don't believe anything TikTok says. Such posers. So yeah, overall, I just had, like, no connection to the characters. Like, I honestly didn't really care if these people died. They were just, like, eh. I mean, I get it, like, in some horror movies, the characters aren't always, like, great. It's mostly based around the villain. But when you look at the movie It, for example, Pennywise is a great, like, scary monster alien thing. I mean, he's terrifying. Plus, you got, like, the children, which are great actors and actresses. And they're just, like, you really like the characters. I mean, you really grow fond of them. So it's not hard to make a horror movie with, like, characters that we all like. Just, like, have a story, make them have personality, and then have a good villain. Like, if their intention in this movie, like, if Robert Eggers' intention in this movie was to just be kind of, like, artsy and, like, not very scary, I mean, he did a good job, but he at least could have made the villain more likable then, or have more of a purpose. Really, just don't go to this movie. Don't bother wasting your time. Don't believe people on Facebook or TikTok, or just in general anymore. Don't even believe me. Joking. And watch a good movie. If y'all need recommendations, I will gladly put some out in the comments that I personally love. I mean, Smile 2 just came out, if anyone wants to see that. Well, it didn't just come out, but it's newer. So yeah, and then my next review I'll do The Witch, and then somebody mentioned in the comments I should watch the movie Lighthouse or something. I think it's called, the one where, like, they get trapped in, like, the lighthouse and they kind of go crazy. So I am going to watch that one, and I'll do a review for that one. But otherwise, let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie, if you've seen it, or, you know, kind of your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and hit that notification bell. Guys, thank you all so much. We are actually so close to 600. I mean, I feel like just yesterday I was at 500 subscribers, and I already jumped almost to 600 subs. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate the support so much. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy holiday. Just a great day on the 25th. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.